out of her chair.
Lynette Oxy here for Shack Tactical TV. It's been a week, quite a week this week, so excuse me if I laugh hysterically. Welcome, Paul.
Hi, Lynette. Hello, viewers.
Yes, it's been a busy week. Wow.
I tell you, things are hotting up here.
Exactly.
It's yeah, and it's gathering pace. I've just got off the phone with somebody that has given me a red hot tip on something which is going to become huge. It's something which I'm going to refer to in general terms at the moment because a lot of the pieces are still falling in place. Essentially what it is the police have screwed up
Again.
big time again. So you know that the Act determines, as far as quantities of ammunition that you're allowed to possess, determines that if you don't have dedicated status, you're limited to 200 rounds per license. And of course, dedicated status is not conferred by the SAPS, it's conferred by accredited associations, who in terms of the Bonetto judgment in the South Gauteng High Court many years ago, accredited associations are considered to be semi-state actors in that they determine and they award dedicated status. Without the police, they have to report to the police on an annual basis about the dedicated status which they award, and the people that have maintained their dedicated status. And Lynette's going crazy here because Uji's licking my knee. Anyway, so back to the dedicated status. So dedicated status is firmly in the hands of the accredited associations in terms of the Act. A province who shall remain nameless,
And everybody knows who it is.
sent their DFOs around to all the dealers and started looking through the ammunition registers, and everybody who had bought ammunition on a Section 13 license that was more than 200 rounds, they then took down those people's information and they went and visited those people unlawfully, I must tell you. People think the police have access to all the information, etc., etc. Not for an incorrect purpose. This is an unlawful purpose the police are using this for. So the police then went and visited all of these people, and they are charging them with having more than 200 rounds, and they have a Section 13 license. But they have dedicated status, so limits don't apply, which is quite plain in terms of the Act. Absolutely crystal clear in terms of the Act. So SAPS has decided to charge in where angels fear to tread again, still, and there's going to be, oh, Uji, is it your ball? Hang on. Okay, now he's playing with Hannes's legs. So this is going to blow up badly in SAPS's face. The people have already, in this particular instance, have already consulted with the senior attorney. People are going to pile into this case. They are going to pile in. We've always said to people have discussed this before on GOSA Facebook, and you have to have a plaintiff. Thank you, SAPS. You've delivered plaintiffs into our hands. You know, without a plaintiff, we can't proceed. With plaintiffs, we can charge the windmill all day long. So this is played into our hands, because of course we'll come in, even if we aren't the primary instructing attorneys, even if they aren't our attorneys, we will come in as amicus on this. It's a fantastic opportunity to beat SAPS around the head, because this is just plainly unlawful behavior. And in various different aspects, we've been discussing it. I was discussing it within our council right now. We're going to make a meal of this. This is going to be a Christmas present for gun owners.
But I've always said, if you start sport shooting, you usually have one gun.
Yes.
One firearm that you use for self-defense and that you use for sport shooting. If you go to any major match...
Even the Rottweiler agrees with us.
Yeah. If you go to a major match, you need more than 200 rounds of ammunition.
Exactly.
So you have dedicated status.
So that's why you have dedicated status.
Not everybody's got the money to have a one
separate Section 16 firearm.
yeah.
So that's exactly the reason why.
That's one of the reasons.
That's one of the reasons why a lawful purpose clause is in all the sections. And it's the reason for dedicated status. So you acquire dedicated status through your accredited association in terms of the Act, where in terms of the South Gauteng ruling on that matter in the Beneto case against pin shooters, you acquire your dedicated status. You're then, the accredited association is seen by the courts, by the police, by the authorities as being a semi-state actor in this case. They award you dedicated status. It's up to them to administer it. You have your dedicated status. It applies to you. It doesn't apply to a gun, any particular gun.
The people have jumped through the hoops that was put there for them by
the police. Remember this whole thing. Anyway, so the police are just trying to, they're just trying to, I don't know, stamp their authority on the process, and they're going to get beaten around the head with this. They're going to get thrashed by this because there is no dispute in terms of the law. They have no ground to stand on, nothing. So people out there in gunland, don't be intimidated by the police. Dealers, if you get approached by the DFOs wanting to do an inspection of your books and then trying to take away information from your registers on the basis that they are going to proceed against people who have lawfully bought ammunition, on the basis of the police's misunderstanding, that in itself is an unlawful purpose on the part of the police. They may not do that. It's unlawful behavior on the part of SAPS. In any case, so that looks like it's going to be a Christmas present for everybody, and it's going to be a bit inconvenient for certain people who have been charged, but it's going to benefit everybody at the end of the day. So guys, don't get a fright. Report it to us. Come to us. Write to law@gosa.coza. Phone us on the office and on 011 888 1355 and speak to GOSA Law, Cynthia. We're already moving on this.
Are you going to make a little bit of a statement on the GOSA page as well?
Yes, I will. When I've got permission from the initial claimants to release a bit more information.
Okay, great. Okay.
Yeah. So, well. Tomorrow, so we're all buzzing in the office here. Everyone's running around printing heaps of documents, binding stuff. We've loaded half of the stuff in the bakkie already. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, woman's introduction to firearms, and it's and you will pause at 11 o'clock.
Why?
Because tomorrow is the 11th of the 11th.
Yes, we will do.
So at 11 o'clock on the 11th of the 11th,
11 minutes
the guns,
11 minutes
the guns will fall silent, and we will remember the whole world's fallen war dead, as is proper.
We will do so. It's a huge number of people. We've had a couple that cancelled, but we're sitting still in the region of 35. So it's a huge one. We want to say thanks very much for Boisterous. They've supplied me with some demo canics. So the ladies are shooting some awesome guns tomorrow. Tac Shack is giving the Glock 19 so that they can feel how Gen 5, and the Glock 43 and the 43X. So there's going to be 6 firearms that the ladies will be able to shoot tomorrow. So I've got about about 12 staff and auras, so it's absolutely going to be fantastic. It's going to be a fantastic day.
And one of the assistants obviously is while we're talking in front of the camera here, he's sitting in the main office helping us to bind documents.
Exactly.
And that person is our little warrior for justice, Keshna Skuman. We'll play the clip that she sent us of her day in court on Wednesday, I think it was.
It was Wednesday. She went back on Thursday as well. And
as you'll recall, her husband or her fiance was stabbed to death literally on top of her, trying to protect her just over a year ago. And she's primarily through her efforts identified, had arrested, and had prosecuted the killers of
Well,
Chad.
Well, they haven't even, they don't want to charge them. There's all kinds of shenanigans going on.
Yeah, SAPS is a scaly bunch, you know. Somewhere in the mix, SAPS, there was a SAPS member involved, and etc.
So we'll see what happens.
So we'll see what happens. It's early days. But we're going to play you the clip now of Keshna. This is heart-rending stuff.
It is dramatic, but
yes.
That's how she feels.
But guys, you must remember, this is Keshna's grief to bear. This is Keshna's grieving. Her way of honouring Chad is to make sure that these people be prosecuted.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what an impact this makes in the court?
Yeah. This
Can
is
you roll the clip?
Okay,
So
you can run it.
sperm, put us in the barn. Us and pigs on a Mississippi farm. In 9 months we'll have a kid you won't care about. And if the kid's not straight, white, male, we guarantee a living hell. Murder in the name of a loving God. Our women are cattle, there's blood on our kids. Are you being paid to not pay attention? Does it have to happen to your mother, to your sister, or your daughter for you to take it personal?
Okay, we're back.
Wasn't that that's a...
Yeah. It's very upsetting to watch.
If you saw us not looking terribly, it's because the Rottweiler was in the pool while the clip was busy playing, and now he's soaking wet and he's storming around the office. Anyway, so yeah, can you imagine? That's heartrending stuff.
Yeah.
It really is. So Keshna, well done. You have our love and support always. Yeah, go girl.
So I said I just wanted to mention I'm busy the 16 Days for Activism, United Nations, starting on the 25th. Hannes and myself is in between everything else been busy with the interviews. I just wanted to say to people there's some very touching stories that's going to be coming out from the 25th.
And this is the Staffy.
It's not a lot.
This is violence, my Staffordshire. Sorry.
And the one thing that I have realized after dealing with this stuff, and I can only deal with it once a year because otherwise I will go nuts because it's really, I don't know how people like Olivia and Keshna deals with this every day. But my feeling is, and there's so much evil out there. There's real evil out there, and it's only people that
evil exists. Evil is real.
It's real. Oh my God.
In any case,
so that's
so the 16 days of action is going to be fantastic. We've got a lot of material already in the can that we're busy processing. There'll be a lot more. It's important that we memorialize this stuff. It's important that we let people know what is actually happening out there. And out of this, the silver lining in this very, very dark cloud is that we identify and we can assist people like Keshna.
And
Exactly
I see there's people that's victors, not victims, and they basically they fight. They stand up and fight, and that's the only thing that they can do.
Look, you don't have control over if crime is going to happen to you.
Yeah.
To a large degree, that's in the hands of the criminal. But what you can control is how you react to it. You can either let it beat you, or you can use that to grow and to become stronger. Keshna will never get Chad back. Chad is gone. But what she's doing now for other people, for other victims, is amazing. And it's not without risk, guys.
Yeah.
We just saw this week in front of the Randburg Magistrates Court, 2 witnesses to police brutality were gunned down before they could testify. This is not without risk, guys. This is serious stuff. We have a gangster state in South Africa with a police force that runs amok. They commit crimes in public, in the open, and they never get prosecuted for it. We've seen this horrible example of Paul Mashatile's goon squad, and those guys are back at work. Their suspension was lifted. They've been back at work for the last couple of weeks.
There's no consequences.
They get away with it, whatever they like, and it's left to us members of the public, civil society, it's up to us to prosecute these people and to make sure that they pay, that justice is done. It's not up to the police. Police don't own justice. They're very, very often the perpetrators of injustice.
So one of my very good friends works for a security company, and our personal security company is also going that way. They've taken fire protection away from the fire stations because there's no fire engines.
So, this private security has already taken over most of this SAPS's functions.
Yeah.
Now we have them taking over the fire engines. We drove past the other day, just close to our house, and here's the big bloody red fire engine standing in front of somebody's house, and we thought, well, gee, do they get to take their
fire engine
cars home with them? It turns out, no. What they've done is they've actually, our private security company has bought a big fire engine from Johannesburg Metro.
Is that where they bought it?
Yes, the signs are on the side still. They haven't painted them over yet. They bought it from Johannesburg Metro. They are running it.
But I just talked to somebody about...
Joburg Metro is incapable of running it.
I talked to this gentleman yesterday, no names, no pactrals, and he says that the fireman at entry level gets like 32,000 rands before they actually start. We're not talking about benefits and danger pay and stuff like that. The people get into work at about 7 o'clock. They sit there. They do nothing because they don't have fire engines. They get paid. They go home at 7 o'clock.
In the old days, and there's a lot of things that are bad about the old days, but there's a lot of things about the old days that would bear to be repeated. Firemen, when they weren't actually on, when they were waiting, when they were on standby, they would be weeding the garden, they would be painting the fire engines, they would be cleaning stuff, they would be polishing brass fittings. Nowadays they sit on their arse in Kentucky.
Do school training and stuff like that. So, it's that's the way. Everything is privatized at the state.
And that's what happens. When, as we've always said about law and order, when the police leave justice in the dust, it's up to the citizens to pick it up and polish it off. And the same thing's happening with fire. When with all security services, with all public services, when the government leaves it lying in the dirt, it's up to us to pick it up and make it happen.
Absolutely.
In any case.
So what is?
All right. So and on that happy note, I've spoke to you in the last couple of weeks about about SAPS and the so-called consultation that they're supposed to be engaging in with us. So they're supposed to schedule a meeting with us by next week, by the middle of next week. They haven't. What a surprise! So Brigadier Sikakani, take another bow. You're a star player, you are. In any case, so we're so I'm not sure what will happen as a result of that, because now the police just haven't done anything. Last week they came up with some stupid interpretation of the minutes of the meeting that we held the week before,
last week,
which is absolutely ridiculous. It seems like they've now ticked the consultation box. Well, that's great.
And they just go ahead with
leaving the door open for a successful lawsuit.
But they've already given the contract out.
Yeah, they've already awarded the contract, and somebody no doubt got a bit of a backhander on that. Well, what else are we to assume?
They don't want to give you the details.
They can't tell us. They can't tell us whether the preferred tenderer has got any capacity whatsoever to handle this. They just won't talk to us about it.
Okay.
Guys,
anything else?
Welcome to South Africa. On the other hand, looking at the rest of the world at the moment,
I'm quite happy to be
here. Happy to be here, guys.
I've had a discussion yesterday morning on the range at my club sheet, and I'm like, it's not such a bad place to be in South Africa right now, because things are going a little bit nuts all over the world at this stage.
It's not like we're doing better than anybody else, but we're not doing as badly as they are by the look of it. Jeez. I can't believe it anyway. Yeah. Listen, guys, summer seems to have decided to arrive at last.
Again.
It went away for a while, but it seems to have come back. Guys, enjoy your weekend.
Yeah. Cheers.
Honor Armistice Day tomorrow, please.
Yeah.
11 o'clock on the 11th of the 11th, please.
Take a moment's silence.
Take a moment's silence. Thank you very much.
Thanks a
Have
lot.
a great weekend.
Cheers.